Scene, not another scene on the movie screen. Life ain't how it seems. Yo, what it do? It's your boy Supreme Uchiha the God, man. First of all, I just want to say WandaVision, man. Wanda freaking Vision is my favorite superhero comic book related TV series of all time. Now I know you all gonna say, but Daredevil, Daredevil is a masterpiece. Oh my goodness, season one was amazing. Heck, Arrow season one was stupendous. It was spectacular. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. All these shows were phenomenal. I promise you. I promise you. But WandaVision is comic. It's an actual like a comic book, bro. The twists, the turns, the concepts, the craziness, the characters, the magic, the powers. The powers are beautiful. It's beautiful. You ain't never seen a show like this, bro. You ain't never seen a copy, bro. This shit is so confusing and so lit and so gripping. Now a lot of people complaining about episode 1 and 2. Man, I'm sick of this sitcom. Now you see it all connected, the threads and all the reveals and everything. You like, oh shit, bro. Those first 2 episodes were kind of fire, bro. I actually enjoyed those first 2 episodes even without fully like. I suppose I'm a comic reader, so like, I kind of knew like, yo, it's gonna be leading to some crazy shit. House of M, baby, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that hype gives me like a bias, but golly, bro, I'm just telling you, bro, this show it just keeps going up, man. This episode was phenomenal. The way they did it, like Parks and Recs type, thing where it's like, you know what I'm saying, and the office type thing which like, the camera, the manual zoom on the camera, like the missing child thing returned. The missing child thing returned on the milk carton, which now we already know that, kids were missing because of, Wanda bringing them in the Halloween episode, but we also know that, excuse me, in the Spider-Man a few leaks of like set images, you can see a few pictures of missing children, like get back, get us back our children. So is it these children now? Because we don't know where she's taking these children from. We don't know where she's taking half of these people from. So I think some of the stuff that happens in WandaVision we're not going to discover until outside of WandaVision. I think some of the stuff we're going to discover in Spider-Man. Some of the stuff, I think the majority of it we're probably going to discover in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, if that spells mom, by the way, which is anyway. Bro, it's just so exciting. It's super exciting. This episode really took the cake for me, man. I love, the Monica Rambeau transition into Photon, and it's aka the original Miss Marvel the original Captain Marvel, back when Captain Marvel was Miss Marvel, and now Ms. Marvel is a completely new character in comics history. It's crazy. But it just, the way she tries to drive in that, and they talk, oh yeah, if you build it to the specs and consider the CBMR, like the microcosmic micro background radiation and all of that shit, that this vehicle should be able to go through. Now, everybody was excited about the engineer. Now, there was kind of an Easter egg where it says, curb your guess or something like that in the kind of clown area, in the fucking like what you call that, like amusement park, whatever, that place where like those clowns and shit, there's a thing at the top. I'm not gonna edit this video, so I don't know if I'll put a picture, but we might put a picture. I'll put a picture, fuck it. There's a picture there on screen, so that's, it says that, which is really interesting. So I feel like the writers, shout out Kevin Feige, and everybody involved in this. The writers are aware, and I think we're always aware of fan theories, and they knew that fans would be really excited, but they still wanted to curb our expectations. I think that's why last episode Agatha was, kind of acting as if she's just a regular person like everybody else. But obviously there was already those clues for us, like clearly, because out in that outskirts, nobody else was moving, you know what I'm saying, except her. She was the only one moving. Everybody else was just kind of still, just like swaying a little bit, but not actively active, you know what I'm saying? And she was the only one, like she drove all the way there. Like, how do you get that far in the first place unless you built different? So obviously she is initiating stuff, and I think it actually, the wacky villain-like character that everybody is like, oh, he's a bit too wacky, blah 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 blah. I actually feel like he's involved with it, because if you think about it, between Agatha and him, like, if you think about it, they're the two people, the two catalysts that are pushing Wanda over the edge, right? Both of them. So Agatha brought in Pietro. Agatha killed the dog. Agatha, orchestrated the kids' growth spurts. Agatha, kind of pushed the idea of kids and family and all of this jazz, and kind of pushed Vision to start seeing the truth. Like, Agatha's been doing a lot of these things, like a lot of these manipulations. You know what I'm saying? And some people pointed out in the last episode as well that she did like a cackling witch laugh when she was brought back from the mind control, as they say. And I think she's just been living hints and clues, and there's been tons of it, like the mentions of devils, the mentioning of witch, like the devil, is in the details, and it's like, and she looks at the camera, like the way she just, you know what I'm saying, acts, and calling Wanda batshit crazy to the kids. It's really, really fucking spectacular. Agatha, man, just bravo to Marvel for this shit, bro. This is, you know what I'm saying, DC could never, and I love DC. I actually like DC comics more than I like Marvel comics in terms of the comic books to read. But yeah, man, I did. I don't know about these days, to be honest, but it's immaculate. I'm just so impressed. I'm just so blown away. I feel I'm just a fanboy right now. I'm just really enjoying WandaVision to a level I did never thought I would. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I'd enjoy it this much. I knew I'd watch it, and I knew it'd be pretty cool to see Wanda and Vision in a show. Look, I don't know how. I just don't see. I don't see Falcon and Winter Soldier being as good or better than this. I just don't see it. I think they put their strong foot forward, especially for the nerds, and I think it's refreshing to see. It's really, really refreshing to see a company such as Marvel and Disney, especially from Disney, to have a show so complicated, so confusing, so intense, and something that really, I think, only the true comic nerds can fully, and I mean fully, benefit from the excitement of, or truly enjoy it and engulf it and take it in and appreciate it to its highest degrees. Normally, most of these movies are made in shows or whatever, they're made for like anybody can kind of hop in and enjoy it. Now, I think WandaVision can be enjoyed just by watching it because it is a mystery. However, the extent of enjoyment is definitely limited by your knowledge of the subjects at hand. And the more you know about it, the more thrilling and exciting it is. Yeah, I think our man outside who's sending in air missiles and shit, I think he wants to cause a fiasco to distract from Agatha and to kind of take the focus away from the kids, so that, when Wanda and Vision, excuse me, are busy fighting them, Agatha and her misfits and her witch circle or whoever she's working with can do what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really intriguing, bro. The end credit. I didn't even know there was a end credit until I watched the TV. No, spoiler. What's his name? I'm subscribed, man, but spoiler heavy spoiler. To watch heavy spoilers video, and then he said, "Oh yeah, those end credit or mid credit scene." I was like, "The fuck!" I had to go back watch that bitch. I was like, "Holy shit!" There's a mid credit scene. Like, you ain't even tell. Like, what? Like, how do people even discover this shit? You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Why is there 7 minutes left, man? Fuck, bro, there's 7 minutes and it's end credits already." About 20 seconds of that is the mid roll scene. I don't know. This episode was just brilliant. Wanda and sorry, not Wanda. Billy and Wiccan, or Tommy and Billy. Absolutely, just I'm so excited. I'm so excited, especially Wiccan. Like, everybody knows Wiccan is the fan favorite. But there's a huge reason. Now, a lot of people are thinking that Young Avengers will go the more current comic book Young Avengers, but I actually think if you look at WandaVision, it's going more towards the older WandaVision, mixed in with some of the more modern WandaVisions, but not like the latest. I think that we might get my favorite iteration of the Young Avengers, which is the original Young Avengers, the absolutely GOAT tier, like probably my favorite comic book run in history. Like that, the Young Avengers was just spectacular. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, Teen Titans and Young Avengers were the comics for me, bro. And Young Avengers just blew everything out the water. And I was reading at the same time as Runaways back when, Alex Wilder was still there and Runaway was its peak. And bro, it's just built different, man. All I can tell you, it's built different. It's just Eli, and and we need Iron Lad, bro. For me, all I want is Iron Lad. If we get Iron Lad in Young Avengers, I'm the happiest person on earth. Because Iron Lad, bro, and Eli, I need Eli, bro. Eli needs to be there, boy. Eli and Iron Lad, I need those two, man. Kate Bishop is already confirmed, and she's a part of Young Avengers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like obviously they're gonna mix in maybe some of the new characters, but I really hope they bring back the old characters, because Eli's story would go fit in better with Falcon and the Winter Soldier and all of that stuff, and all of that stuff much better than like anybody else. I think the original Young Avengers cast is the ideal one for me. I think that's the best one. They could add in one or two extra female characters and then I think like Ms. Marvel, and I think eventually Miles Morales. I think he's gonna pull up. I think Gwen. I think they're gonna be the Young Avengers of the future. I think the current Young Avengers should be the original incarnation, with maybe one or two add-ons, but I wouldn't like remove any of the original cast, because that was the perfect cast. And I think, yeah, I think that, man, Hulking, all of those guys, we already got the scrolls, so the story is built upon it. Now, it's actually interesting because if you look at the age of Billy and Tommy, and then if you look at the age of the Miss Marvel cast character, they look around the same age. So it might be a long-term thing where they have these kids be actual kids, and then Spider-Man is never going to be Young Avengers. He's going to be leading the future Avengers, right? And I think he's going to have that connection with these guys, like knowing that he was once a raggedy kid trying to be a superhero, and he's going to be the mentor. And it just the idea of it alone boggles the mind, and it just makes me appreciate all these years of Marvel, and I just can't wait for the next phase. I'm actually more excited about this phase than I am about the Infinity Saga. I'm more excited about the next saga, because the next saga is more connected to what I grew up with, while the last saga was a bunch of characters nobody knew who Guardian of the Galaxy was or cared about him. I knew them, but I didn't really care about them. But they reinvigorated their tale via the movies. Iron Man was a dying character in the comic books, until the Ultimate Edition of Iron Man and the movies. When the Ultimate Edition was basically created only because the movie. And same as Nick Fury being black with eye patches from the Ultimate Universe, and they actually use his face without permission, and that's how he is in the real movies. That it's so that he wouldn't sue. They said you can be the Nick Fury in the movies. I think they wanted him to be the Nick Fury in the movie anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's just so many like. But as much as I love again the original Infinity Saga, and it's gonna forever be my heart, because I also grew up watching those movies. But reading wise, I didn't grow up reading Thor comics. So I read some Thor comics. I didn't grow up reading that. I definitely grew up reading some Avengers comics, but Young Avengers was where I was really at. That's where my bag was at. That's what I was eating. You know what I'm saying? And X-Men, bro, X-Men, like all my days, bro. I just and I think the Young Avengers fit in perfectly with X-Men. And there's an X-Men show, X-Men Evolution, I think the show was called. I think if they did that with like Spike and Katie and all of that, bro, and bring all of that connection, because Spider-Man is actually heavily linked with the mutants in the comics, in some iterations of the comics, and some of the best stories are when the two interact and cross over. I'm just babbling on about comics and nerdy stuff, but I'm just so excited for this phase. If they do this, I mean, so far WandaVision has been perfect to me. You know what I'm saying? Despite there's little flaws, obviously, in everything, but it's everything I could dream of or wish of in terms of a comic iteration of any character, of any scenario, of any situation. Being created into live action, like the costume designs, the 3D renderings, everything is phenomenal. The CG, whatever, it's phenomenal, man. I'm just blown away about what's being done, and the risks that they're taking. I knew that they could take risks when they did Guardians of the Galaxy, and just threw in a team, and then made all these funny jokes to kind of like ease people into it. But I think WandaVision just takes the cake. It does things that it's like it's out of the ordinary, and it's quite extraordinary. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, the engineer thing didn't come through this. Like, I mean, the engineer apparently just isn't a relevant character, and I think they did a smart kind of misdirection. I actually feel like the the main character is gonna come out either next episode or the final episode. I think the final episode is probably gonna be a long episode. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that what they try to do is cut out fluff as much as possible. So I think when the episodes are longer is because there's just more stuff that's important to be told. But yeah, man, what you guys think of this episode of WandaVision? What are you most excited about in the new phase? I don't know if I want to call it the House of M, the House of M phase, because the Infinity Saga, the House of M saga, like the House of M phase, the House of M. I don't know if I want to call it that yet because we don't know if Wanda's going to end up being the big bad, but I feel like she could end up being the big bad in this and this is the catalyst, and almost like a backwards version of Thanos, right? If we look at Thanos was a background character, and then became the protagonist in Infinity War, and then the antagonist in Endgame, right? While I feel like with this one, I think what they're doing is the protagonist is Wanda herself, and she's also the antagonist for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like that Thanos, except we're starting in that phase. We're starting with her being the forefront. You know what I'm saying? And then I think she's gonna fade into the background, and we're gonna feel her ramifications, or feel the ramifications of her actions throughout the background of everybody's stories. And then she's gonna pop in more frequently than Thanos did, right? Thanos was like a twirling mustache villain for most of the Infinity Saga, and you know, you had other people take the limelight and sending, you know, all of these other people. But I think Wanda is gonna be more intricately enlaced into the whole phase, the whole saga, the whole, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's gonna be beautiful to see. I really can't wait. I don't think they're gonna be doing 3 phases per like villain anymore. I think they're gonna try to one phase every villain from now on. I think that's probably what they're gonna do. Just because long-term wise, age-wise, characters are growing and stuff like that. I think a 3 phase is very difficult. Unless, you know, because we still need to see Spider-Man lead the Avengers, essentially, or be, you know, a main integral part of the Avengers. We need to see the X-Men rise up. And I feel like the X-Men is going to be focused on the younger X-Men. I hope so, because that's my favorite cast of the X-Men. And obviously, you still need Wolverine there as a you know, I don't mind a CG fucking Hugh Jackman, bro. Just give us Hugh Jackman. You know, I don't know. I have no words. Bro. This is all my dreams coming true. Now I just need DC to undo Teen Titans TV series completely and just redo Teen Titans with the original cast, the original age. Or if they're gonna do Tim Drake's version, then at least do the version with like Solus and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be dealing with this shit, bro. But yeah. I'm excited. This episode for me was a 9 out of 10. It's been your boy Supreme Shade God. I'm out. Launch the new outro.
Love me like a rockstar in your dreams. Drive me like a sports car.